Okay, part of our usual Fridays to talk about Babylon 5. This time we're going to talk about soulmates after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. In Soulmates, this is all a Psychor type of story, or rather a story about telepaths. We see once again Alfred Bester, played by Walter Koenig, who has a very good knack for playing villains, I have to say. His previous work that was done on Star Trek in the movies and for usually was such a bit part that it really wasn't a whole lot that he could do. A little bit of comedy, not much else. And in this case, though, he is able to literally chew the scenery. And in doing so, he makes a very interesting character. We get a little background on him. He is married. He has a 5-year-old child, according to the narrative he gives to Sheridan. And they like to go out on a picnic under the dome. Apparently, he's from one of the Mars colonies. And it opens up on the Mars colony where he is interrogating a telepath and manages to get just enough of the information that he needs before the telepath dies of a brain hemorrhage. And what it is that Babylon 5 is the point from which an underground railroad is running to ferry unlicensed telepaths between Earth and a place that they can get away from Psychor. Now, we also have Talia, who is very much loyal to Psychor. We've established this in a couple of episodes before this, with the exception of her old mentor and lover, who was killed by Bester in one of the earlier episodes. And while she doesn't like Bester, she doesn't really change her loyalty to Psychor. And so, as Bester comes into Babylon 5 and pretty much goes to the captain and says, we need to put a stop to this because unlicensed telepaths are not safe. There is then, in private conversations between Sheridan and Garibaldi and Ivanova, that Psychor isn't what it started out to be. It was a way at first, when people were scared to death of telepaths, to have a way to regulate them, to make sure that they were easily identified and to have rules on how they can use their powers. And this is not what it's turned out to be. It's become a bit more jackbooted and black uniformed and secretive than anybody is comfortable with. And Sheridan kind of shrugs it off. He says, well, this is a monster of our own making. We can't really do anything about it other than obey the law as the law is written. And so they put security on trying to find this group of rogue telepaths and try to find out who the leader is. And while Garibaldi has no regard at all for Bester, and the exchange between them is very, not very well veiled, despising each other, still, it's an interesting interaction. And you almost see Bester as the good guy here. Now, we do let little things out, of course, that Bester doesn't care who dies as a result of his operation and wouldn't mind having a few that he could make examples of in public. And it's revealed who the leader of this ring is, an unlikely person. It puts Sheridan in a very sticky situation, and how they're able to work their way out of it is quite interesting. And I have to say that it speaks well to how this show is written. There are no fast solutions to anything. and everything has its consequences. Everything has to be thought through before it can be done. It's not just, oh, I'm going to talk him out of this and they will completely abandon their long-held beliefs. There's none of this trickery that is done in so much television in order just so the good guy can win. And I admire that. I think that that's something that Babylon 5 has that virtually nothing else on television and very few movies have, where you have it all thought out. You put you take your main characters, you put them in some kind of either moral conundrum or some kind of physical danger, but you don't just make everybody miss their shots. And it takes more creativity. It takes more work in order to put your characters in danger and then get them out of danger in a believable manner. And I think they did that in this episode. It's really a very good example of how to write for television. It's something that is good. It's well acted here too. And we see the problems that Talia has, where she has some understanding of why Bester is pretty much a monster, but at the same time that Psychor is something she grew up with and that's all she's ever known, and it's done many good things for her. And we can also see it from Sheridan and Ivanova and Garibaldi's point that it's something that is not easily solved. It's not something that we really like having around, but they're around and we have to deal with it, and there are laws put down and we have to deal with those laws. And even if we don't completely agree with them, we have to go along with them. And so there's no major breaking of rules. There's no major trickery in how they resolve this. And I think that speaks very well to the way this show is written. So I'd like to know what you think about it. Please put it in the comments below. And remember that we will be back on Tuesday with another Deep Space Nine, on Wednesday with a TOS, original series episode of Star Trek. And now on Thursdays, we will have, for the next few weeks anyway, rather reviewing the new episodes of The Bad Batch. And then coming up in April, when that begins, we'll start reviewing the episodes of Star Trek Discovery. So we have a lot ahead of us right now. We hope that you'll be around for that. So please subscribe if you have not done so already. Leave your comments below. Click a like if you will, and join us next time. And until then, don't go far.